Hello and welcome to another How to Film Weddings video. Today I just got off the phone with a bride that I'm filming her wedding about 7 months from now, and the phone call was she was just wanting to talk about the prices and everything. We've initially booked her for video and photo. She's paid a reservation fee of $1,000 for each video and photo, so she's got us secured, but that's all she really had. We've been texting and talking for the last 5 or 6 months. She's been getting to know us, following us on Instagram, just learning about us and more about us. And so she wanted to talk because her dad is wanting to make a big chunk payment towards their wedding video and photo. So we talked on the phone today and just kind of walked through our 6 months out, just a timeline review, trying to figure out and gauge and give her as much information as possible to help her make decisions on what she's wanting for video and photo. So I think it was a really good conversation. I think she's going to spend probably about $5,000 to $10,000 more based on that conversation than I thought. So, for video and photo, this wedding is going to be huge for us. So we wanted to give her enough time to kind of make sure that everything was good with the budget, and we were able to help her out on making sure the sunset time worked for her ceremony and just kind of giving her pointers and advice along the way. So let's go ahead and jump right into this 7 month out consultation with a bride for video and photo. Here we go.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. Good, how are you?
Good, right on time with my call, right?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
It has been kind of crazy around here.
No, I can imagine.
No big deal. But anyway, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're momming hard and doing all the things for the wedding. I just wanted to kind of chat and see where you were with everything, with your timeline for the day. I know it's still a little bit out, but kind of be able to start to, I know your dad was maybe wanting to pay a chunk, so I was trying to get kind of an initial package lined out for you.
Yeah.
And so what details do you have so far? Like, do you have ceremony times, getting ready, anything that you know that I would need to know?
So the wedding starts at 5, cocktail party 6, and then obviously reception till 11. As far as starting to get ready, I've got 10 bridesmaids. So.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to take a while.
I can put you in contact with my wedding planner also.
Yes. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Her name's Kate. I'll tag you in her Instagram, and then I'll also send her contact information to you.
Perfect. Yeah. If I can get in touch with her, I can figure out most of this stuff. But I know, I know Dad's wanting to maybe put a chunk towards things and stuff. So, what's the gauge on that? I know we had talked about trying to keep it to a certain amount, but also with the caveat of not knowing how long we needed to be there.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. So with 10 bridesmaids, are you getting ready at the resort? In your room?
No, so we're going to be at the Santa Barbara Inn, which is...
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much time you've spent in Santa Barbara, but so in order to get to the Four Seasons, you have to take the freeway. So it makes it like a 15-minute jaunt versus it's literally less than a mile from where we're staying, but it's only one way.
I gotcha.
So,
yeah, I'm pretty familiar with Santa Barbara. I've probably been there 15 times, but nothing crazy. I know it enough to know what you're talking about.
Okay, so we got a trolley that's gonna go back and forth. But obviously I don't need you to film, the first 5 girls or however,
Right.
If we start getting ready at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever. But, this is your area of expertise.
Yeah. So typically we like to start shooting about an hour and a half to 2 hours before you put your dress on, depending on where the guys are getting ready. Where the girls are getting ready. Is it the same spot?
That hasn't been decided yet.
Okay. If possible, if he's getting ready at the inn as well, that would be best.
That'd be ideal, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be ideal for us. But if not, it's we can make it work. But so getting ready, we try to get there and get all of your dress hanging, your details, you hanging out with your girls, if you're wanting to do any type of like letters or talking to the girls about him or your story or your kiddo, or like there's a million things we can talk about in front of camera, but like you're talking to the girls, so it's not uncomfortable. So that just gives us time to do that. Once you get dressed, are you doing a first look with him, with your dad, or anybody like that?
It won't be Sean. We can do it with my dad.
Okay.
Yeah, and then as far as pictures go, I want to get a large chunk of them out of the way for the ceremony. So, whether that be all my girls and I, and then like
him and all of his guys too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so that that cocktail hour is like, it's not like we're spending most of that time doing pictures. Like I want it to be a very like quick thing.
Or do you guys have pretty big families that will be there?
As far as pictures go, I have 4 siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sean has 2, but we're not trying to really do extended outside of like his grandma.
Okay.
But we're not going to do like aunts and all that stuff.
Gotcha. So that'll be fairly quick, 15 minutes or so probably would be what I would think. And then, so you guys are not seeing each other beforehand, right?
No.
Okay. That is fine because sunset, I'm trying to pull up the sunset time, but I'll look it up here in a little bit, what time the sunset is. That's the only thing that I would be double checking against in Santa Barbara there. But to make sure that the sun isn't going down too early and all you get are photos with like the golden hour look. You want most people want photos just in daylight as well.
Yeah.
So I'll double check against that and see. And then, so during your ceremony, that'll be no longer than 30 minutes or so? 45 minutes or?
Probably closer to 45. My mom wants substance.
Yeah.
Just because, I don't know. She wants it longer.
Yeah.
But I would shoot for 45 minutes to an hour for sure.
Okay. Yeah. So depending on that, how long that goes and all that good stuff. If the cocktail hour starts at 6 and you said reception around 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that should be plenty of time after the ceremony, depending on sunlight to get. It'd be about 15 minutes of family and then probably 15 minutes with wedding party together. There's 10 of you guys, or 10 on each side, you said. So yeah, it'll just take a little bit to do it. But and then are there? I'm sure there's a ring bearer. Is there a flower girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's 2 of each.
Okay. Cool. So 2 of each. You've gotten a lot of details figured out since we talked last.
I know, it came up so fast.
I know, that happens.
It's crazy. So my mom was like, your videographer's going to be shooting, he's going to feel like he's shooting the same wedding. I've got my flowers identical to the video you shot at the Bacara.
Oh, good. Are you using Nisi Enchanted as well?
No, I don't know who my wedding planner chose.
Okay.
My parents are kind of, I'm just not as interested in it as I was. And I don't know if it's because of the distraction with the baby, but
yeah. So
I'm like, I got my venue, I got my video and photos figured out. The rest is up to you guys.
That's fun.
They did hire, so for like DJ and stuff, I don't know if you've seen them. I haven't watched any of your videos lately, but so it's an MC and then they also bring like band members almost, and they're playing like with the MC.
Oh, cool.
It's like super interactive, but
I can't wait to interact. Hope you don't mind. Video guy's not filming again. He needs to be filming. Come on, that guy.
Right.
No, that's cool. So the big white everywhere flowers, just galore.
Yeah.
That'll be pretty. And so I just looked. Sunset looks like it's at 6:27 on the 13th of October in Santa Barbara, California. So with that being said, if the ceremony's 5 o'clock to 5:45, you're going to be in that low light golden hour rushing to get photos done kind of time frame.
Okay.
So I don't know, have you set all that stuff already in order and running in order with like times on things and stuff yet?
Not like super detailed, no.
Okay, so it might be something you talk to Kate just to say, hey, I was talking to the video guy, and sunset it looks like is at 6:27. So if the ceremony started 30 minutes earlier or something, or that, I mean, I'm not going to make you move everything, but if it started at 4 instead of 5, that would fix most everything. If you're not wanting to see each other beforehand, but if you know, which is fine, but just it's kind of one or the other. Like if you're wanting photos, because ceremony ends at 5:45. We could be done with your, it takes a couple minutes to get everybody situated, but 6:10 or so we'd be done with family. 6:30 it would be finishing up like wedding party, so the sun would already be set. So we would kind of run out of time for the two of you, and I like as much time as possible. I can make you feel like it's a win in like 20 minutes, but like I'm really happy with like 30 minutes of time. So
Yeah.
and since you're paying so much for us to be there, and I mean it all comes down to what's priority for you. If you're wanting like a bunch of photos of the two of you going around the resort, like I mean that's the kind of stuff we love, but we don't ever want to make you feel like we're pushing you to do more.
That's true.
So
maybe we will do, because I didn't think about that, all the going around and stuff, because
yeah, it just takes time. Yeah. And depending on how mountainous we are at the resort, different areas will be not lit earlier than. Luckily, you're on the West Coast, so it's like the sunset is like you're at sea level. So, in Oklahoma when I'm shooting, it's like, oh no, there's a hill that went behind it. We're done. So, yeah, I mean that's just something to consider, and that's why we try to do this phone call so far out. So. You have time to make some adjustments, but with the plan, which I like, you guys not seeing each other, I know that's really important to you to like hold off on seeing each other, which I'm totally down with. I would just try to recommend an hour to an hour and a half earlier start time so we can get enough time to photograph everybody.
Well, and that's how much of a bigger deal is it for us to start at 4? Is it the resort that has a problem with it, or going to cost more or whatever?
Yeah. And so let me know that. I mean, worst case scenario, I would then end up just recommending you guys see each other beforehand if they, you couldn't move the time. And if you can't, I mean, we can work around it. We can say, hey, we'll do family, a couple family photos inside, or we'll do some after dark and flash or whatever, or I can bring some lights, but like the photos you're going to want usually are the two of you during the daylight and at sunset. And so, your wedding party, well lit kind of things. And so that's just going to depend on what all you want. So you might just talk to her, and then we can work from around it. We can help you make decisions based on that. But that's just something I'm glad we looked it up, because that would have been a bum dizzle is what I call it. Okay, so your reception is currently scheduled to start at 7. Let's just pretend that's where we're going with it. What all's your reception? What all do you have figured out, like when it comes to your order of festivities, that kind of stuff? I mean, how long are you going to be there? What all's happening at the reception? You said an interactive band MC.
So we're trying to get all the like monumental stuff done in the beginning, so that it's like more entertainment and chill moving forward. Nothing super formal, like having to stop the party to do this or do that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do our first dance when we walk in.
Okay, that's my favorite.
I don't know if these are details you want. It's seated, so it's not a buffet style, so aren't gonna people be wandering around.
Cool.
And then I'm thinking we're doing speeches during dinner.
Okay.
We're not doing like a formal cake. It's just not our style. We'll do like a cake cutting, but it's not like a big part of our night.
Like you don't care if it's in your video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. We're not doing like a formal exit, or at least we haven't Kate hasn't brought it up, and that's not really they're going to keep the bar open across the street kind of like privately for our group until...
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so after we're kicked out of the reception area, then we're all going to go over there, but it's not like that needs to be taped or anything. I mean, you guys are more than welcome to come hang out and party and stuff, but...
Awesome. Sold.
Yep.
Okay, so do you have a rough estimate about like when you're thinking that the party will be ending?
Party,
like the reception.
Reception. I think we have to be out there by 11.
Okay, that helps me just kind of put together.
Timeline.
Yeah. So like with that being, looking at that, we're somewhere in the, like if we're starting an hour to 2 hours before you put on your dress till 11, it's probably somewhere around, let's see, if the wedding was at 5, like you're thinking, or even if it was at 4, that would be at 3. So somewhere around 1, somewhere in there. So like 9 or 10 hours of time, something like that. It's obviously going to depend on your like, hey, I'm getting, like we really like for you to be like 2 or 3 people from the last to get your hair and makeup done. And we like to be getting there like right as you're getting going with your hair and makeup. We don't film you or photograph you until you're about 90% done, because nobody really wants that. But like we can be creative and get some different angles and like get your dress and get all those details and get the venue, and like we start shooting, kind of get everybody accustomed to the fact that we're there. And then once you're just about done, we will work with your makeup artist and say, hey, can you put some shadow, like makeup under her cheek, or like that kind of stuff, just to like get some really cool angles of all that stuff and hair and makeup. So, and then right after that's usually where you do a big photo like with all the girls and get into your dress, all that kind of stuff. And so does that sound about right about how long you'd want us there? Do you want us there earlier? Does that sound right?
I assume that... Okay, so how many of there are going to be just for video?
I'm pulling that up. I think we're going to do 2.
Okay.
My computer's saying, no, don't use me. It's Friday.
What would we do without technology?
I don't know. Facebook died this week, and I was like, I guess I'm going to go home. I don't know. I guess I'll talk to somebody. Let's see here.
But like you'll do like all the aerial views and stuff like that on...
Yeah, that's the plan. Okay. Let me see here. There's your pack. Like, so right now, all we have set is the retainer for video and photo. Like, so you've paid $2,000 and reserved video and photo to be there based on our conversation. And I mean, I don't know, budget, all that good stuff. And I'm going to kind of listen to everything that you're saying and kind of make a recommendation. But I'm thinking what I will do, is Nina and I for sure. And then either we hire, like I have a handful of really good shooters that I work with a lot in California that instead of flying them out, I just hire them and they come to them. So one of my good friends, Jake, who shot Jason and Lisa's wedding with me, is already slated to shoot with me for video. And then Nina, got a couple photographers out there that we're talking to that are like, this wedding for us is really like, we're really excited about it. So we're like wanting to go all out for you. And you're just super cool. I like whenever people are real people. I like whenever they're just real, I don't know. But anyway, so, I mean, honestly, with your timeline, I would say it's probably going to be best to have 2 video people the whole time, Nina the whole time, and then bring a second shooter for Nina until like the reception is pretty much winding down, because you're not going to need 2 angles of our second shooters after all the formalities and it's just dancing. Yeah. So we'd probably have 2 shooters, like lead shooters for 10 hours, second shooters for like 6 or something like that. And then that way, depending, and it's also going to depend on like where Sean is getting ready. Because if you're getting ready and it's 15 minutes away, we'll send Jake and our photographer over to his room or wherever he is to get all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I will bring Jake. He's licensed to fly aerial stuff, so I'll bring him and have him fly either the day before or the morning of to get aerial coverage for you guys and all that good stuff. And then I'm thinking, I know you guys are, I'm thinking for the video side of things, like a feature film, like what I did for Lisa and Jason, the one that Bakara, I did like a longer feature film and then a shorter feature film as well, like a short film for online. Some people don't want everything on the internet. They want something a little longer and more personal for them. What do you think that you guys would want?
I mean, longer for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't do a short one also.
That's what I was thinking. Like usually it's like a 5 to 7 minute is the shorter one, and then something like between 10 and 15 minutes that's like way,
more detailed.
Yeah, way more. And then I always tell people there's two other things that with videos that I always wait till after the ceremony, and after the wedding day. That is like a FOMO edit, like a fear of missing out. I put every single clip on a timeline. I trim off all the bad stuff, like the shaky footage, that kind of stuff. But it's a documentary of the whole day, and it's usually a few hours long. And that's usually something that I would offer 6 months to a year after the wedding. Just, I keep the footage if you're like, I want to see more. So that's something that we do. And then we also do just like all of your raw footage on a hard drive. So, like, we put everything we shot all day long on a hard drive, but you have to, like, watch through clips one at a time. It's pretty, like, computer geeky. So some people just want to push play and watch everything, and some people are cool with, like, just having the footage. But I always tell people to wait until after the wedding to do that. We keep it. Yeah, because you might see the 15-minute film and be like, this is everything I want. Or, we'll remind you, like, a few months after you get your film, like, hey, we still have this footage. If it's something you want to do, just let us know, and we keep it for a long time, the footage. So, okay. And I just feel like until you see your feature film and until we know what is happening on the day, like, who knows what happens on the day, and it's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe, our boy did, I don't know, like, there's just so many things that could happen that it's like, oh yeah, you're going to want that. But like, typically I would say something like, that feature film that's 10 to 15 minutes, and then the shorter film, would be all that you would want for the video for now. We shoot the ceremony in its entirety from multiple, like 4 or 5 camera angles. We're putting microphones on Sean and the efficient and working with the sound tech to get it. I mean, we're getting all the things that we can't go back and get. So just so you know, it's going to be covered. And my job and what I look at doing is just like, I want to make you happy 5 years from now. So whatever I have to do that is what I am going to recommend for you. Yeah. And then on the photo side of things, we have it down right now, and it's totally up to you, but we just have it down for wedding day coverage. But because we're not there and you're not there, if you wanted us to do a shoot the day, like leading up to it with the two of you, like a 1 hour something in Santa Barbara, just like an engagement session or something, we could do that. And then Nina also does boudoir stuff if you wanted to do that. I'm not involved with that. Sorry, my wife would kill me. But like kill me dead. No, but like, so if any of that's of interest to you, those are, not like, they're $400 or $500 for the engagement session, and same thing for the boudoir. We give you all the edited images from both of those. That's included in the package. So I mean, and I can put all these details together with all the pricing for you and send that to you early next week, just so you can see everything just all bundled in one, and you can say that's too much or that's right, or, that kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
And then, I try to bundle as many things in there to give you, to show Dad, hey, like, he's given us $4,000 worth of stuff extra here, that kind of thing. So are any, like, do you want to maybe look at engagements or boudoir stuff beforehand?
Not engagement. I just don't know about the boudoir thing, just because time is so crunched.
When are you getting in?
We're gonna get in on Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay.
Which, so our rehearsals kind of spread out all day Saturday, because we're working with the Four Seasons,
Yeah.
around whatever other weddings that are going on there, and then the dinner will be at night. But, I mean, when were you guys planning on getting it? I know you were thinking about going to Disneyland
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do all of that stuff after, just so
after.
I don't want to be like lugging.
Worn out.
Yeah, that kind of. Yeah, that's the thing. He's like, I don't want to take my wife and 2 kids and be like dead on your wedding day. So we'll probably we'll probably get there. The wedding's on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So we'll probably get to Santa Barbara around Friday, probably Thursday night or Friday. So depending on how you want to do that, I know that before, like on the day itself, Nina's done that. I don't know.
That's what I was almost wondering, but it just depends what
Yeah.
the timeline ends up looking like. But
Yeah.
if you guys are going to get there on Friday, go ahead and include that in the email that you're going to send me.
Okay.
Because, I mean, the wedding dress will be down there. You know what I mean? Because there's there's like some boudoir photos that I've seen, like wedding dress included, but
Yeah.
like more riskier. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm not opposed to
she
that for
has a
sure.
great time. I mean, usually they bring, if you want to bring like your maid of honor or like, I don't know, like you bring some of the girls and it's like, that's about all I know. And I get really uncomfortable. So that's me stuttering at this point. All right. So I'll tell Nina and let her give you more details. And she's got links to different photos she's done and stuff too. So, so we can look at that if you want to. Do you want us around at the rehearsal? Or are there any speeches or anything like that?
No, I mean,
Okay.
ours is super informal. Sean's family's taking care of it. He's already been married before, so it's like nothing like crazy.
Gotcha.
We're doing like a taco truck on the beach
Perfect.
because we've got so many people, anyways.
And you guys will be dressed up all cute and stuff on that day?
I'm gonna be in sweats.
Are you really?
No.
That would be awesome. The coolest shoot ever. A taco truck and sweats. No, I was just going to say, like, even if you wanted Nina to come out for like 30 minutes, since we'll be there the day before or whatever, and just get like just let us know. Like, we have time.
Okay.
But like I was saying, like an hour would be somewhere around $500. It's not like crazy. And a lot of times the groom's parents will pick that up. So just because they want photos of it or whatever. But since we're not doing engagements, I just was trying to figure out a way for us to like get some ourselves for you guys. So,
Yeah.
and I would even maybe throw that in.
Throw it in there
Okay.
too.
Yeah. Okay. So it could.
Parents have been so unpredictable.
Yeah, and I never want, especially when people are spending a lot on a wedding. We've built our business by not taking advantage of people that are spending a lot,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like I do my best to hear what you're wanting and then try to just build you something that is a really great value for both of us. So,
No, absolutely. And my mom is that kind of person that, and like, until it's in front of her, she's like, oh, actually, we should do that.
yeah, I may build out just a couple of options just that includes everything and then like that's pared down a little bit just so you guys can see and break the price down of like that. Usually I'm a dad, so that usually helps me like, well, if we go ahead and go with this one, we will, be happier, whichever one that is. So, okay. So it could be something where Friday you do a shoot with Nina and then go to your rehearsal and then take just a little bit, like she takes a little bit of photos at the rehearsal or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the day of the wedding, as we get closer, we'll know how much more time, but I would assume it's going to be between 10 and 12 hours of shooting is what we're going to need. And it may be less. So I will always err on the short side until we get like usually 3 months out. We'll do another call just to like, now we've got things a little more finalized. And we can, that's why whenever I don't usually take a full payment early just because it's really hard to know everything that you're going to need. And I don't want dad to be like, well, I already paid and now I have to.
I told him not that in our first conversation that you'll never give us an exact amount ahead of time. It'll all just kind of depend on the day.
Yeah.
How it goes.
And
what we
if
want.
you told me here's my final timeline right now, I could give you a final package price, but it
that
just,
would never happen.
yeah, I know. That's why I always think it's so funny when people are just like, yeah, book my 8-hour package and that's what you get. It's like, I can't do that. I mean, I'm not going to try to make you jam everything in your wedding into 8 hours. Like,
Yeah.
I would just rather help you make sure that you enjoy your day and know not to get married at 5 if the sun sets at 6:27.
No, totally.
So, okay, that gives me a great gauge on everything. How do you feel about like what I was saying about the lead shooters all day, the second shooters for somewhere in the 6 or 7 hours range? Do you like that idea? Do you want them to be there the whole
Yeah.
time? Okay.
Because biggest thing is Sean getting ready, me getting ready. I just didn't want one person strapped back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Which I didn't think you were gonna do anyways.
Yeah.
But the other thing was, I'm almost wanting 2 different angles for the ceremony as far as me walking down.
Oh, yeah, we will. So during the ceremony, I usually on video have 5 cameras rolling, and on photo we have, like with the second shooter, there'd be somebody getting Sean's reaction, and then someone up front, which would be Nina, getting you coming down the aisle, that kind of stuff. So there's 2 angles of the photos, and then the photographers, if you think video, it's rolling the whole time. But photo, people can like walk around and get all kinds of different angles. So they're moving, getting really creative, trying to get really wide, like just so you can see everything. That it's outdoors, I would assume, and there's probably a very with all the flowers and everything you're doing, it's like we're gonna have plenty of fun. Like if your ceremony's 45 minutes long too, it's like we're gonna have plenty of time to get some like killer photos. But when you're coming down the aisle. Usually Nina's up front with me, and we're shooting towards you coming down the aisle. We're out of his way, and then our second shooters are capturing what Sean's face looks like. So, and then as we get closer to, just so you know, like anything that you're just like feeling a little apprehensive about or nervous about or you're worried about, just tell me, and I can try to make sure that like we just have talked it through. But we don't like to bug you with like, here's our shot list. Here's what we don't want to do that to you. But if you're like, oh, I definitely want a photo. I love this photo you guys did, or I love this photo. Some like just keep us in the loop. And we only take we have 13 photo weddings booked for this year. So like our goal is to like have no more than like 15 to 18, so we can give you guys the time. Like make sure that we know everything we need to know. So,
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Other than that, that gives me like a little bit of, direction to build out those packages real quick on Monday, probably just to like put those all together for you and then see, pricing and all that breakdown so you can send that along to your dad.
Yeah, I'm thinking Mom. I'll give you like $7,000.
Yeah. And if you want to do, because I know this, like, so the video, it averages somewhere around $700 an hour for video and $600 for photo. So, I mean, it's just going to depend on that. And then we talked about travel stuff. And so there's just a lot of other things, it's like that we need to just nail down. And so, but if you wanted to say, hey, we're going to put 7 towards it, that would just go towards the grand total. And then 3 months out is usually whenever we like really know pretty much everything. Like you've sent out the save the dates, all the time. I mean, everything. I mean, not the save the dates. I'm sorry. You've set out all the times of everything. People know when that's happening. They've made their plans. There's not too much changing except for like little details, but other than that, when the hair and makeup people are there, all the things, where he's getting ready. Usually that's somewhere in the 3 months out range. And so at that point we can give you guys like, okay, here's the rest that's due. So, but I can go ahead and build. I mean, what do you think? What would work best with your parents? Like to just say, hey, I'll send another build for 7 more, and then we'll have, a smaller than that build due 90 days out or whatever. Yeah. Or do you want me to go ahead and build out like a tentative package, and then we'll probably add to it?
So my parents are funny. I'm only telling you this because I know you're not like trying to screw me over. So, your budget for the flowers is $10,000. Okay, well now we're at 20. And MC and DJ $2,500. Well now we're at $7,000. So it's like the less details the better right now.
That's what I thought, but I don't. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you a great rate for all the things that you want, but your wedding is not a small budget wedding that I'm just going to be like, yeah, let me send one person out. I mean, I want to kick butt for you, but sometimes with parents, especially, like, it's better to like ease into, like say, hey, 7,000, they've already paid 2. They don't even remember that they did that, kind of thing. And so it might be best if you just say, hey, we've got a $7,000 payment due on, the 20th of March or something like. I mean, I can set one up just so you have it, and then I can keep these notes, kind of build out what I'm thinking with you, so you kind of know. And then, once we get closer, it's like, okay, hey, all the travel and all the, like that kind of stuff. But it can go, we can do it on the less expensive, but I think that you're going to want, a photo and video are the most important to you. Usually, that's going to be the biggest chunk of your budget.
Yeah.
So,
and they know that. More important to me, the flowers and all that stuff. Like, that's why I said I'm kind of backing off this wedding, because I've gotten all the things that I wanted, and now I'm kind of just letting my mom get what she wants,
Yeah.
And so they know that this is important to me.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
It
well,
shouldn't be an issue.
I will try to put some stuff together Monday for you, but I would say let's just do whatever payment size you think that we should do. Sometime by the end of next week or something like that. And then, I can charge it for whatever you tell me to. We can put that towards the total, and then we can just schedule something for like 3-4 months out from the wedding and talk again.
Okay. So do you want me coming up with like a list of the pictures that I want, like as far as, organized photos, whether it's family, that kind of stuff, like,
yes and no. I mean, you don't have to give me so we're going to take photos with like the two of you and your immediate family. Like typically what we do, and you can tell us to not do this much, but we usually say, okay, everyone that's family, stay back. We take a big group photo of your whole family, then move down like with aunts, uncles, and cousins. So if you don't want that, that's great. Then we move down with your grandparents, parents, and siblings, then just your grandparents, then just your siblings, then your parents, then, so we're paring down, and like Nina knows kind of like that. I mean, if there's somebody, but if it's like, hey, I definitely want a photo with these girls from college, right, then that's the kind of stuff that we don't know who's important and all that. But I mean, if you want to be thinking about any of that, that's great. But usually that's when we will mention that to you at, 90 days out, just so you don't have to worry about it. And then again, if you see any photos that you love that we've done, or that that somebody else did or whatever, just we don't like copying people's photos, but just if it's something that really stands out to you, like, oh, I really love that. We just met with a bride who was like, I really want to take a dip kiss photo in the middle of the aisle right after we get married, and I want everybody to be looking back towards us. And it's like, okay, and she said, here's a photo of that and that I saw, and it's like, okay, we can do that. So, but it's not like, hey, here's my Pinterest board of photos I want you to copy. It's like, I'm gonna die. Please don't do that to me.
No.
And
just went through childbirth, so I totally get it.
Yeah.
Take all these pictures.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, if you think of any groupings or things that you want, or if it's like, hey, your mom and her friends, we try to get, like, if your siblings, like if they're married and their families are right there, we try to snag, just like a family photo of as many, like we try to make ourselves available to do that just as a service to you and your guests, so they get a nice family photo. But we don't do that necessarily in the crunch time, especially if you're pushing the sunset. It's not like we're going to be walking around randomly and saying, hey, you want a photo? Well, we should be, so, but yeah, I would talk to Kate, and if you can help connect her with me, via Instagram or email or whatever, I'll start working with her and your sound tech and all that. And so it makes life so much easier that like video and photos, one company. I don't even know how to explain it to you. A lot of times it's like the photographer, especially in California, they're like, this is how we do it, and you're going to follow along. And it's like, well, they're paying more for me than they are for you, and I need a voice. So.
Well, it's so funny because Sean and I just got back from a wedding in San Diego, and all I could notice was how not in
sync
line the photo and videographer were. Like, they were just stepping on each other's feet, getting in each other's way, because you had said that when I talked to you.
Yeah.
It's funny how you notice it.
It is, and it's like, it's really hard. That's the hardest part of my job, is to like get a bride to realize that I'm not just trying to blow smoke. Like, I'm really just trying to help them. Like, I know that my business is going to thrive. I'm just trying to help you. So, but that's the cool part about our couples these days, is like they get it, and we have a ton of fun. And so by the time the day gets there, I mean, we just want to hang out and take great care of you and serve you. And hand you alcohol, stuff like that. Here's more alcohol.
Exactly.
So, any questions you have for me this far out? I know that, it's March, but...
I mean, it's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah.
Not in particular. I mean, as of right now, you guys have been, the easiest. Not having too many questions.
Yeah.
At least not yet.
Yeah, we're pretty easy going.
So, I'm just... Well, my dad said, I'd like to pay along the way all these different avenues. It made sense instead of just throwing down $100,000 at the end of it.
Yeah, totally. And that all makes sense. And I'm all for that because it stings a lot less when you do it that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I can definitely, like I said, write something up on Monday. But my thought is if 7 is the number to pay next week, let's do that. And then, just we can either chat again, 5 months, 4 months out, something like that. If you want, like whenever you want, it's fine with me. So.
Okay. I'll shoot my dad a text as soon as we hang up and just ask him what his ballpark number was, just to clarify, so that you don't send him a $7,000 email and he's like, Megan, what the hell?
Yeah.
So then I'll shoot that over to you right when he responds.
Okay. Yeah, and if any precursor text like, hey, they do a great job and they're gonna be there for a really long time, so it's gonna add up, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That would help me a ton. So perfect. Well, I will put this together, like I said, Monday. Text me if you need me, and or have any questions before then. And then next week my daughter's on spring break, so I'm planning to come in Monday. Pretty much that's it, and then go vacation somewhere or something. So
sounds about right.
Awesome. Well, great.
Alrighty.
Yep.
I'm glad to talk to you.
Yes, same. And I'll be looking for the text, the green light on what to tell you that I'm going to need to charge you. So
Okay. Perfect.
Awesome. Thanks, Megan.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good weekend.
You too.
All right. Bye. All right, there you have it. There was the phone call with Megan. Like you heard, it looks like she's going to be spending a lot of extra money with us. We're still working with her, but she's already adding, and the education we're giving her has made it where she's seeing the value in what we're doing. I will reiterate that this is something we have been building over time. We didn't try to just make her pay a lot. If I will throw it out there as well, if she didn't seem like she needed more or had the budget to do it, I'm not going to be pushing her to spend more, but it's actually going to serve her by her paying for us to do more things. So I'm just, at this point with 6 months out, it's a lot less pushy because I'm able to just give her ideas, nothing finite, but just give her those ideas. So hopefully this was helpful to you. If it was, like this video, share it with somebody that might need to see it. Subscribe if you're watching it on YouTube, and until next time, see ya.